Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving right into the 5 a.m. secret, how it works. We're going to explore a highly structured system that completely transformed the life of a man named Thomas. See, Thomas was a night security guard. He was broke, he was chronically exhausted, and he was working incredibly hard just to keep his head above water. But as his story powerfully demonstrates, sometimes just working hard, putting in the sheer physical hours, is simply not enough to escape that suffocating feeling of being completely trapped in your circumstances.
So that brings us to a pretty terrifying question, right? What if hard work isn't enough? For Thomas, the breaking point was absolutely devastating. The stress and the relentless grind finally took their toll when his mother collapsed. Sitting by her hospital bed in this dimly lit room, the harsh reality finally hit him. Despite his non-stop shifts, both he and his mother were stuck in an endless, fruitless cycle of labor. They weren't moving forward. They were literally barely surviving.
And this leads us to a highly pivotal, almost cinematic moment. Imagine Thomas stepping out of that quiet hospital room and into the freezing, empty, pre-dawn streets at exactly 5 a.m. In that complete silence, he makes a desperate promise to himself. He says, "No more. I will find a way." He just refuses to accept this reality any longer. He knows he has to completely change his life, even if he doesn't quite know the mechanics of how to do it yet.
Well, that how is exactly what we are going to unpack today. Section 1, the magic hours, unlocking the time between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m.
Now, Thomas actually discovered this secret entirely by accident on an exhausted bus ride home from the hospital. He met a highly successful businessman named Mr. Chun, who introduced him to the magic hours. These are the precise hours between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. used to build the life you want while others sleep. Mr. Chun explained that this pre-dawn window offers a completely uninterrupted opportunity. It's time that belongs entirely to you, before the rest of the world wakes up, before your boss needs you, and way before all those daily emergencies demand your attention.
Moving on to Section 2, the 2-hour formula, engineering the perfect morning routine.
Because look, you can't just wake up at 5 a.m. and mindlessly scroll on your phone. To make this habit actually work, you need a system, and it requires a precise 50-50 balance. You cannot spend the entire 2 hours just grinding away at work, nor can you spend the whole time just exercising. Hour 1 is dedicated entirely to building skills, and Hour 2 is devoted exclusively to building your body and your mind. Hour 1 is all about building a skill that changes your financial future. From exactly 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., your focus must be completely singular. You're dedicating this time to learning one actionable, valuable skill that can directly alter your financial trajectory. For Thomas, that meant opening his phone and taking free online accounting courses. He focused purely on learning Excel and finance. It absolutely has to be a skill that actively moves the needle in your career. Then, the exact moment the clock strikes 6 a.m., you switch gears entirely. Hour 2. Build your body and mind. Exercise, read, and plan. After an hour of intense intellectual growth, your focus shifts inward. This is when you physically move your body to get the blood flowing in the morning light. You read something that expands your perspective, and you strategically plan out the rest of your day. By 7 a.m., you will have done more for your personal and financial growth than most people will do in an entire week.
Which brings us to Section 3, the 90-day transformation, the timeline of biological and professional adaptation. Now, I gotta warn you, when you first attempt this, day 1 is pure pain and exhaustion. Your biology is gonna fight you every step of the way. But if you push through, look what happens by day 20, biological adaptation. Your body adjusts, your mind sharpens, and for Thomas, he was actively mastering accounting. By day 87, his manager noticed his incredibly sharpened skills and actually offered him a day shift job which effectively doubled his salary. And at the 1-year mark, Thomas went from an exhausted night security guard to the lead accountant. The system absolutely works if you give it time.
This really forces us to look at a fundamental truth. We so often use talent or luck as our excuse, just assuming successful people were born with it. But the undeniable reality of Thomas's story is the sheer leverage gained by using the time when everyone else is sleeping. The difference between where you are and where you want to be isn't a genetic lottery. It is about capitalizing on the hours when the rest of the world is unconscious.
All right, Section 4, the 3-step challenge, your blueprint for the next 90 days.
I am officially challenging you to adopt this exact system starting tomorrow morning. Here are your 3 strict Non-negotiable rules. Rule number 1, alarm at exactly 5 a.m. No snooze button allowed. Rule number 2, choose one skill to build for that first hour. Please don't scatter your focus. And rule number 3, which is honestly the most important, turn off the lights and go to sleep at 9 p.m.
Let's reinforce these crucial boundaries real quick, because this is exactly where most people fail. You must protect your 9 p.m. bedtime at all costs. You simply cannot wake up early if you sleep late. It is biologically unsustainable. Second, you must focus your first hour on one specific skill so you actually make measurable progress. And finally, you have to give the process exactly 90 days to see the transformation. You cannot quit on day 5 when the alarm feels like a physical blow. You've got to stick with it. Because ultimately, success is not a destination. It's a daily practice. True transformation, the kind that fundamentally alters your financial future and your mindset, isn't a lucky break. It's the result of consistent, daily morning practices done in the quiet of the dawn.
So I have to ask, will you join the 5 a.m. club today? Your future self is waiting to see what you decide to do tonight. Don't make them wait another day to start building the life you actually want. Set the alarm, protect your evening, and take back your mornings. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.